Counterpoint, the general knowledge music quiz chaired by Paul Gambaccini.
Hello. Thank you for that enthusiastic applause here at the Radio Theatre in London, welcoming 3 more contestants to Counterpoint's 37th series. The winner will be the one who demonstrates the widest knowledge of music in all its variety. Let's meet today's competitors.
Hello, I'm James Bingham. I'm from Stockport, now living in County Wicklow in the Republic of Ireland. And the first record I ever bought was Gorillaz' Clint Eastwood.
Hello, I'm Susan Booth. I live in Sidcup, South East London, and my first record was Elvis Presley singing My Way.
Hello, I'm Vanessa MacNaughton from Sydenham in South East London, and my first record was Long-Haired Lover from Liverpool by Little Johnny Osmond.
Actually, it was Little Jimmy Osmond, -1. You're all very welcome. Our opening round tests your musical general knowledge. If you get your own question right, you'll get 2 points. If you can't answer correctly, I'll open it up to the others for 1 bonus point. Good luck, everyone. As the Fugees sang, "Ready or Not, Here I Come," with the first question for you, James Bingham. The ballet The Dante Project returned to the Royal Opera House in late 2023 after a 2-year absence. The work, first staged by the Royal Ballet, includes choreography by Wayne McGregor and artistic design by Tacita Dean. Which British composer and conductor provides the music?
Oliver Nussin?
I'm sorry, that's not it. Does anyone else know? And Vanessa says,
James Macmillan?
no, it wasn't James Macmillan. Good guess. The answer is Thomas Adès. Susan Booth. February 2024 marks the 20th anniversary of another work by Adès. You're about to hear an operatic adaptation of Shakespeare's The Tempest, with libretto by Meredith Oakes, which received its world premiere at the Royal Opera House in London. In this scene from Act 1, after causing a huge storm, which character has some explaining to do?
Fate has brought my enemies to this shore. They must suffer as I did before.
Ariel?
No. And James Bingham says?
Caliban?
No. Vanessa.
No, I can't think of the name. There's the kind of sort of fairy Puck type character, but it's not him.
No, it is Prospero.
Oh.
Vanessa, here's your own question. Some calmer waters for you. I'd like you to complete the line of a poem by Richard Garnett, set to music by Edward Elgar, as the 4th song in his song cycle, Sea Pictures. The deeps have music soft and low. When winds awake the airy spry, it lures me on to go and see the land.
Where corals lie.
Correct for 2 points. James Bingham, back on dry land. Here's a song by P.J. Harvey, which celebrates the countryside in which British county?
Sussex?
I'm afraid it wasn't Sussex. And Susan Booth says?
I'll go for Yorkshire.
No. Vanessa, would you like to name a county?
Cornwall?
No, well, you did it, but it's unfortunately not the one we wanted. Dorset.
Oh.
P.J. Harvey's song White Chalk is about the area where she grew up, alluding to the coastal town of Lyme Regis and Cerne Abbas, which is the site of the ancient club-wielding naked giant carved into the hillside. Susan Booth. In 1969, the year P.J. Harvey was born, Katharine Hepburn was performing the title role in her one and only Broadway musical appearance. It had book and lyrics by Alan J. Lerner, set and costumes by Cecil Beaton, and music by Andre Previn. It was inspired by the life of which revolutionary 20th century designer?
Coco Chanel?
Yes, for 2 points. Vanessa MacNaughton, here's some stylish music from the British violinist Fenella Humphreys, winner of the 2023 BBC Music Magazine Premier Recording Award. You're about to hear a short piece from her recent album release, Caprices, which features an eclectic collection of lively work from classic and contemporary artists. Can you identify this composer?
Paganini.
That's right, for 2 points. You heard variations on Paganini's Caprice number 24 in A minor. James Bingham, another award in 2023, was claimed by Theatre of Sound and Opera Ventures, who won the Royal Philharmonic Society's Opera and Music Theatre Prize. It was for a work by Bela Bartok, usually presented as a Gothic horror story about a powerful nobleman and his bride, reimagined as a love story between a long-married couple coming to terms with dementia. Which opera is that?
Bluebeard's Castle.
That's right, for 2 points. Susan, February 2023 also saw a posthumous Grammy presented to singer-songwriter and keyboardist Christine McVie, who died a few months earlier. McVie was honored for Best Arrangement, Instruments and Vocals on Vince Mendoza's orchestral version of one of her classic songs. Can you identify it from this new introduction?
Songbird.
That is right. Vanessa MacNaughton. At the same ceremony, the Grammy for Best Musical Theater Album went to the Broadway cast recording of the revival of a 1987 musical based on a book by James Lapine, featuring performances by Sarah Bareilles as a baker's wife and Patina Miller as a witch. Which musical was it?
Wicked.
No, it wasn't Wicked, and James Bingham thinks it's...
Into the Woods.
And he gets the bonus point. Music and lyrics by Stephen Sondheim. James, here's your own question. Composer John Adams is no stranger to Grammys, but what links his 2005 opera to this 2023 film score by Ludwig Göransson?
That would be Oppenheimer, Paul.
Well, I am going to accept that. The opera by John Adams is
Dr.
called
Atomic.
Dr. Atomic.
Yeah.
That's right. The piece you heard is Trinity from Christopher Nolan's film Oppenheimer. Susan Booth, the Blondie song Atomic was one of a trio of number ones the group achieved in 1980, the third of which was a song composed and recorded earlier by the Jamaican reggae singer-songwriter John Holt. It was also successfully covered in 2002 by Atomic Kitten. What's its title?
I don't know.
And James thinks he does know.
The Tide is High.
And it is The Tide is High for a bonus point. Vanessa, we complete the round by paying tribute to the much-missed BAFTA-winning composer Carl Davis, who died in 2023. Described as a true polymath of music, his legacy includes over 100 soundtracks, internationally performed ballets, the Liverpool Oratorio, written with Paul McCartney, and this landmark theme for an epic television series, which I'd like you to name.
No, I'm not sure.
James thinks that he's sure.
The World at War.
That's right, The World at War for a bonus point. At the end of the opening round, here are the scores so far. Tied for second place with 4 points, Susan Booth and Vanessa MacNaughton. And in the lead with 7 points, it's James Bingham. Because you picked subjects for the next round in the order of your scores in the first, we have to break the tie. I'll ask the two of you to write down the answer to a fiendish tie-break question, then invite you to reveal it. The nearest answer will get the advantage. Here comes your tie-break question. To the nearest million, how many songs does the Archive of Contemporary Music claim to store at their nonprofit Music Library and Research Center in New York? Well, Vanessa's holding hers up. Okay, so Susan, what have you guessed?
200 million?
200 million. And Vanessa, you've guessed?
50 million.
50 million. The correct answer is 90 million. Vanessa is closer. You win, even though you were 40 million out. Now, our competitors have to choose their own special subjects for the second round. I'm about to give them 5 categories to pick from, but this is the first time they've heard this list, and they've had no chance to prepare. Here are today's categories: a classical time of day, the golden age of Rodgers and Hammerstein, music magazines and periodicals, a classical journey around France, and horrible histories, harmonies. James, you are in the lead. What would you like?
I'll go with classical time of day, please.
And for you, Vanessa.
Rodgers and Hammerstein.
And that leaves 3 for Susan, which are music magazines and periodicals, a classical journey around France, and horrible histories, harmonies.
The last one, horrible histories.
You've chosen a round on the musical numbers that are a key feature of the educational entertainment franchise Horrible Histories. Which English monarch is the subject of their song with the chorus, divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived?
Henry VIII.
That's right. Here the team borrow the melody of David Bowie's Heroes for a portrayal of Martin Luther King Jr., singing about the civil rights movement and the struggle for racial equality. Its video references the March on Washington and the famous 1963 I Have a Dream speech. After you've heard it, can you tell me from which Washington, D.C. landmark Dr. King addressed nearly 250,000 people?
I had a dream. He said the victory of civil rights was brought about thanks to me. But there were many, many more who made it a reality. They were the heroes.
I will embarrass myself, I don't know. Washington Square?
Oh, no, Washington Square is in New York.
Oh.
This is in Washington, and it's the Lincoln Memorial. Earlier, we heard about a Broadway musical celebrating the life of Coco Chanel. The Horrible Histories team also paid tribute to the fashion designer, referring to a person with the ability to sway potential buyers towards a product or service. The song's title is the original what?
Influencer.
Correct. Here's Humankind We're Grateful, a tune dedicated to all the animals that throughout history have helped, provided for, and even fought alongside humankind. It's a parody of You're Welcome, a song composed by Lin-Manuel Miranda for a 2016 Disney animation about a teenage girl who leaves her island on a mission to save her people. Can you name the film in which the melody originally appears?
So thank you for that wonderful clue. What can we say except we're so grateful for the poo and the food and the fur? What can we say except we're so thankful for the wolves, moose, maize, and the
Muna?
Yes, that's right. A Horrible Histories episode called Deadly Dynasties includes a song about the first emperor of a unified China, featuring the lyrics, "Oh, I had to fight against every single plotter, got an army made of terracotta." Of which Chinese dynasty was he the founder more than 2,200 years ago?
I'll have a go at Ming.
I'm sorry, it wasn't Ming, it was Qin. It was the Qin dynasty. Here's a track in which Beatrix Potter, Enid Blyton, Mallory Blackman, and Jacqueline Wilson sing about their successful careers as authors using book magic. Which girl group do they borrow this song from?
The girls were always looked upon as being weaker. Don't say that to Hetty Feather or Tracy Beaker. Why do people solo stories? 'Cause from cradle to the grave, these stories help us work out how we should behave. Ooh, we adore that magic.
Is it Bewitched?
No, it's Little Mix. The original song is called Black Magic. And finally, set to a catchy rhyme to help people learn the timeline of English and British monarchs, the Horrible Histories Monarch Song runs through a chronological list of every English monarch from William the Conqueror onwards, the recent update including King Charles III. Which king is the subject of the lines, "Cheeks were red, killed out hunting, so it's said"?
I don't know, I'm sorry.
It was William II. But nothing too horrible, because Susan Booth, in that round, you scored 6 points. Added to your previous 4, you now have 10 points. Vanessa MacNaughton, let's celebrate the golden age of Rodgers and Hammerstein. The first musical produced by the legendary Rodgers and Hammerstein partnership is based on Lynn Riggs's 1931 play Green Grove of Lilacs, charting the rocky romance between a headstrong farm girl and a cocky cowhand called Curly. What's its name?
Oklahoma.
You're right. Here's Curly from the 1955 film version of Oklahoma, directed by Fred Zinnemann. Can you identify the actor performing the role?
Chicks and ducks and geese better scurry when I take you out in the Surrey. When I take you out in the Surrey with the fringe on top. Watch that fringe and see how it flutters when I drive them high-stepping strutters. Nosy pokes'll peek through the shutters and their eyes'll pop.
Howard Keel.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Gordon MacRae. Carousel, the second musical by the team, Rodgers and Hammerstein, is adapted from Ferenc Molnar's 1909 play Lilium and transplants its Budapest setting to the main coastline. It features which tune, which is now a major sporting anthem?
You'll Never Walk Alone.
Yes, for 2 points. The duo's musical South Pacific premiered in 1949 and ran for over 5 years on Broadway, winning all 9 of the Tony Awards it was nominated for. Best performance by a featured actress in a musical went to Juanita Hall. After you've heard her, I'd like you to tell me why that award was significant.
Valley High may call you any night, any day. In your heart, you'll hear it call you. Come away, come away.
First Latino to win it.
I think we should give you that one. She was the first actor of color to win a Tony Award for her portrayal of Bloody Mary. Almost a decade later, Juanita Hall worked with the team again on their 8th musical, based on which 1957 novel by the Chinese-American author C.Y. Lee.
King and I.
Oh no, it's Flower Drum Song. The 50s also witnessed the premieres of The King and I and The Sound of Music. Edelweiss from the latter show was successfully covered in 1967 by a British singer who died in July 2023. After you've heard his version, I'd like you to tell me his name.
Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow. Bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss.
Roger Whittaker.
Oh no, it was Vince Hill. Adapted from John Steinbeck's story Sweet Thursday, which of the Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals had the shortest Broadway run?
It's going to be wrong, but The Card.
Well, you predicted you'd be wrong. It was Pipe Dream. And, Vanessa, you can nonetheless whistle a happy tune because in that round you scored 6 points added to your previous 4, and you also have 10 points. James Bingham, it is a classical time of day. Known as Sunrise, the introductory fanfare of Richard Strauss's tone poem Also sprach Zarathustra is used in which classic sci-fi film directed by Stanley Kubrick?
2001: A Space Odyssey.
For 2 points. After Sunrise, we have Morning. Which orchestral suite is this from?
Peer Gynt.
That's right. We heard Morning Mood, composed by Edvard Grieg in 1875 as incidental music to Henrik Ibsen's play of the same name. Which parish church at the northeast corner of Trafalgar Square in the city of Westminster regularly hosts lunchtime concerts involving its own resident chamber orchestra?
St. Martin in the Fields?
Correct. Radio 3's afternoon concerts present unique performances with BBC orchestras, choirs, and other great ensembles from around the world. Here's a concert from May 2023 in which one of Scotland's 5 national performing arts companies plays Mozart's Jupiter Symphony. Formed with Roderick Brydon as its first principal conductor, the orchestra, based in Edinburgh, is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Can you name it?
BBC National Orchestra of Scotland?
I'm sorry, it's the Scottish Chamber Orchestra. Dinner is on the table at the very end of a Mozart opera where the servant, Leporello, is attempting to sneak a bite, only to see his master gluttonously partake of the feast. The scene ends with an eating duet where the master viciously declares that the greatest satisfaction comes from eating delicious food while someone hungry looks on. What's his name?
Don Giovanni.
That is correct. Here's an evening prayer from the opera Hansel and Gretel, which the siblings perform before falling asleep in a forest. Can you name the composer of this?
Engelbert Humperdinck.
That is right, Engelbert Humperdinck, the original. The Dublin-born composer John Field is often credited with creating which form of musical composition later popularized by Chopin and inspired by or evocative of the night?
The Nocturne.
That is correct for another 2 points. The end of the day, the end of a round, in which you scored 12 points, added to your previous 7. You now have 19 points. After the individual round, here's how things stand, lying third and second in a tie with 10 points, Susan Booth and Vanessa MacNaughton. And our leader with 1 round to go with 19 points, James Bingham. It's fingers on the buzzer for the quickfire final round. This is where things can change quickly. A correct answer wins you 1 point, but you lose a point if you buzz in and fail to answer correctly. There are no bonuses. So, fingers poised, here we go. In 1979, Fiddler's Dram took a day trip to which Welsh city, Vanessa?
Bangor.
Yes. Which Irene Cara song contains the lines, I'm gonna live forever? Vanessa?
Fame.
Yes. In the 30s, which British composer produced the 5-movement solo cantata Dies Natalis? And James says?
Finzi.
Yes. Which Squeeze song shares its title with a 1968 British kitchen? And Susan says?
Up the Junction.
Yes. For public appearances, which contemporary American singer wears a hat reminiscent of a deer stalker, incorporating fabric that covers? And James says?
Gregory Porter.
He's right. Which Benjamin Britten opera is set on HMS Indomitable? Vanessa says?
Billy Budd.
For the point. For 2013, Behind the Candelabra dramatizes the last. And Susan says?
Liberace.
She's right. Which band took their name from a song on the album True Stories by Talking Heads? And James says?
Radiohead.
And he gets it right. The 2023 TV talent show, subtitled I Have a Dream, searched for unknown theater performers. And James says?
Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Oh no, Mamma Mia, -1. The American singer Lizzo is classically trained in which instrument, James?
The flute.
He gets the point back. Which Belfast musician is nicknamed the man with the golden flute? Vanessa?
James Galway.
Yes. The pop festival on which island in the English Channel was resurrected in, and Susan says?
Isle of Wight.
Yes. Take Me Home and Sunshine on My Shoulders are autobiographies, and Susan says?
John Denver.
Yes. Campanology is the scientific and musical study of, Vanessa?
Bell ringing.
Yes. Founded by Amelia Friedman and Rodney Slatford, which English chamber group celebrates its 50th anniversary in 2024, Vanessa?
The National Ensemble.
Yes. Gary Portnoy's debut single, Where Everyone Knows Your Name, is the theme song of which American? And James says?
Cheers.
Yes. 20-something and Catching Tales. And Susan says?
Jamie Cullum.
And she's right. And finally, complete the title of the 1986 hit for EastEnders actor Nick Berry, Every Loser, Vanessa?
Wins.
Yes. There can only be one winner, as I reveal the results of today's contests. Third, with 15 points, is Susan Booth. Runner-up with 17 points is Vanessa MacNaughton. And our winner with 23 points is James Bingham. Congratulations, James Bingham. We look forward to seeing you again in the semifinals in a few weeks' time. Well done, and thank you to the other two of you for giving us such a close and exciting contest. Next week, we'll be at Media City in Salford, meeting 3 more music lovers playing Counterpoint. I hope you'll join us. Until then, from everyone here, goodbye.